Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Manga Boy. Read 13 volumes. Wait, did I? Yeah, 13 volumes this week. So that's another good week. I have a few volumes that I read today that were the last. Some I expected to be the last, others I didn't. Speaking of the one that I didn't expect to be the last volume, Muscles Are Better Than Magic Volume 4. This is the final volume somehow. This is super good. We get some sweet action. Our main character, Yuri, here has to fight off this Majin. I had no idea this was going to be the last volume going in. It feels like the end of an arc and the start of the other, which I guess makes sense because the author puts at the end. Make sure you read the second volume of the light novel. This goes halfway to that, and I was like, what? I cried. This came out in Japan in 2020, so probably won't be anymore. I would really like to see a Muscles Are Better Than Magic Volume Part 2 series to go. Do I recommend this now that it's ended and I didn't expect it to end so shortly? I mean, yeah, this is still a really good adventure, you know. Does it end off super satisfyingly? No. But does it end off in a spot that makes sense? Yeah, like totally. If they were going to end the series off early, they picked a pretty good spot for it. I figured the sales were probably bad in Japan, or it just was never meant to be a manga, and it was supposed to just be an advertisement for the light novel. Always hard to know why series are canceled. Here we have... Oh, I'm just going to flip this. Because I don't want to start backwards. There we go. I usually flip them. That was just the order I read them in, the other way. So next is Tokyo ESP Volume 8. This is the final volume of Tokyo ESP. And that's why it's the 8th one. Or 16th because they're omnibuses. Pretty rushed, I gotta say. Overall, though, I did really enjoy this series. I do wish they spent more time after the time skip. I feel like the best bit of this series, though, is really before the time skip. What is that? Volume 4, around there, is probably the best it has to offer. They introduced you to a lot of crazy concepts at the end, which I thought were really cool. But the characters, the main villains that they introduce come and go very quickly. Some of them are introduced even in this volume, and then they're gone in this volume, obviously. Overall, a pretty good series, though. I would definitely recommend this to people to read this. Very cool supernatural manga. A lot of women of power in this one, which is very cool to see because you don't get a lot of that. So, excellent manga. I definitely enjoyed it. Ending a little bit off, though. Zatch Bell Volume 28. So, Zatch Bell is continuously kicking all sorts of butt. So, we get Zatch versus Zeno. The end of it this time. We get to see really some cool moves here. Some excellent spells. And an excellent Bowser Kerriga. Very cool stuff. Following that, we get Volume 29, which shows us, realize that, we are in between arcs. It will show us that the demon world actually is empty. And the reason is because the Demon King put all of the demons' souls into souls, and they are unable to do anything about it. And then when the king, or the winner of the Moto contest, comes through, that means the king can do whatever they want with him. This is an excellent dream sequence. I loved every second of it. Kyo is losing his mind. He has this power after, dying and coming back to life that lets him know the answer to every question before it happens. So he doesn't have to think about it. Something that Dufort also has and is teaching him how to use. We also find out more about the upcoming foe, which is very cool. Who can eat anything, I guess. He's like a worm kind of a guy. He's really cool. He can go to different galaxies and dimensions. He makes warp holes. Very cool. And we also meet Clear in this volume. Clear is a beast. He destroys Bowser Kerriga. It's no problem for him. That's nuts, especially since Zatch got powered up by having Zeno teach him how to do a few things. We also have this little baby here. This little bubby is Clear's master, actually. Brago also is no match for him, which is a huge shock because Brago has been the strongest, pretty much the whole series. Yeah, Faudo was stronger, I suppose, but You know, Brago and Xeno are probably the two top, you know, opponents that Zatch would have to fight, potentially. Conchame here in this volume gets very cool power-ups. We get to see what Clear's up to, but Conchame, well, he's a beast. We also find more about Falgore's past, which, you know, you never really think that we need. But we get it. We get to see what Falgore's been through. He's a great character. I really enjoyed this volume. Conchame is one of the better Momoto, in my opinion, and he's one of the best in the main cast that's sticking around so far, or at least that's left over. I can't believe that Pori is still here, though. Or I guess she calls him Poppy in the Japanese version. I'm not sure. But I did really enjoy this series, this volume. Again, was another great one. Good to see Conchame and Falgore get some time in the limelight. Volume 30, I'm on the 20 still. Volume 32 shows us get our training, and not only get our training, but it shows us the fruits of our training as well, a little bit. Oh, no, just kidding. No, it does. I don't know where I am anymore. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So yes, this shows us this shows the fruits of our training off. We get to see what Schneider / Ponygon has been up to. You can see he's a gigantic horse flying in the sky. You know things are going good for him. We also get to see everybody rushing over to Clear to fight him for the last battle. Lastly, we've got the final volume. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to talk too much about it because, you know, there's a huge amount of hype with Zatch Bell these days, as you guys probably know if you watch my channel. You know, Zatch Bell 2's coming out, and it's going to continue right from probably 33. My guess is it's going to happen a few years after Volume 33, and, you know, it's going to cover when Kyo's in college, what's been happening with life, and it's going to show what Zatch has been up to. That's just my thought. I'm hopeful that, you know, Kodansha will actually bring over Zatch Bell in an omnibus format, kind of like they did with Shaman King, since they do hold the license. At least the last that the license has been mentioned anywhere was that Kodansha had it. You know, I know this looks like it's a Viz manga volume, but no, these ones I actually made on my own. I know I did a really good job. Thank you so much. You guys are too kind to me. But, you know, it's too bad that they don't have these official yet, so I'm hopeful that, you know, we'll get it. I really liked the final battle. There was a lot of kind of Dragon Ball Z-esque moments, but I did actually enjoy the final fight quite a bit. I was a big fan of the Golden Book. I thought that was sick. It was a really good way to wrap it up. And then the final battle, which I won't spoil who that's with, I thought was also really cool. You know, I thought it was really interesting, and we had seen this fight coming for a long time. It's kind of like Naruto versus Sasuke, you know, how when you see a fight happening, you're like, okay, well, they gotta show it, right? Soloist in a Cage. This is a book. I believe this is in the Weekly Shonen Jump when it came out. Follows a girl who is with her brother in this prison city. She escapes, but she leaves her brother behind. Now she wants to go back into town and find her younger brother, like 11 years later or so. This has been a really cool story so far. It's very gritty, very brutal. You know, I don't know if this was canceled or what, but man, it's like rough and grit. I don't know how else to explain it. It's like kind of like the introduction to Promised Neverland. You know, how it was just so grim and everything like that. But this starts off grim and really sad. The art to it is so good too. I was really a big fan of the shading and all this different artistic techniques, like these hash marks and everything like that. They look great. I can't believe that this guy had this in a weekly chapter. I mean, talk about impossible. How are you going to draw this well every chapter? I just can't believe it. And Shiro Moria did both the art and the story somehow. The guy's a madman. Inset Inspector, Volume 1. I picked this up because I heard great things about the anime when it was coming out. You know, it was on sale, so I thought, why not? You know, this is a cool one. This is a detective kind of like supernatural manga / rom-com. And so we have the main character. She saves this guy right here, and she finds out that, you know, he is not what he seems. He's like some sort of a monster, and yokai fear her. For whatever reason, she is seen as like the goddess of knowledge and wisdom. So all the yokai kind of go to her, and they're like, you gotta stay away from this guy. This guy's bad news. Please be safe. And it's all about their adventures and how these yokai are acting kind of odd. And they're trying to figure out, get to the bottom of it, figure out what's going on. So I'm a pretty big fan of it so far. It started off just okay, and it has gotten to be, quite a bit better. I really think that, it's got some room to grow, especially with their power system, because right now there's not one. This one guy's just a beast because of things that he did. I don't really want to spoil it quite yet. I know it's only the first volume. This has been out for a while. I think there's 15 volumes out right now. But maybe I'll spoil it in another video. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting series. I'll probably be getting a few more volumes of it. At the very least, I'll be getting up to volume 6, just to see how it is. I don't think I have any other ones ordered. The only other series I know that I kind of did this to is The Aristocrat. The Assassin, World's Best Assassin is reborn as an Aristocrat. I really got to get more volumes of those. So hopefully I don't forget to get more volumes of Inspector either. Attack on Titan Volume 12. We start to train and learn how we're going to use this vertical maneuver gear, or omnidirection gear. I forget exactly what it's called in Attack on Titan World. We also get, well, that's about it. We get a fun surprise trainee, though. Javi joins. And I thought that we were going to have some Titans here, but we don't have those. But Javi actually joins the Survey Corps for whatever reason, and so that's pretty interesting to see. And he also can use the gear. So I was shocked. The vertical maneuver equipment. So I was like, wow. But, the training is exactly what it was in the main series. They have to balance themselves on these two wires that stand in between. He tries to get faster and faster. He's not actually fighting a Titan here. He's just thinking about what he's going to do. They also switched over to having dual blades instead of one gigantic sword. So that was a cool thing to see how they thought of that, I suppose. I mean, we already knew what the solution was going to be, so it wasn't very exciting, in my opinion, but whatever. Whatever. So now you can see the sword's evolution back here. Each of the backs had a picture of a sword. I guess it was to show the evolution, but it, as far as I could tell, was the same sword every time until this one. Now it's that sword, for whatever reason. I don't really understand why they picked that design with the lines on it. How the Attack on Titan swords have those lines. The regular swords do not have those lines. So yeah, that was interesting. But that's what I read this week. What did you guys read? Please let me know down below. Anything cool going on in life. Please also remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel because it does help us out a lot. But yes, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next week, where I am going to start, several new series, because Zatch Bell's over, and Tokyo ESP is over, and Muscles Are Better Than Magic are over. So that's 3 series I read that are done. So I gotta go get some new ones for me to read. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.